Last month, we rescued Merrick from the Sea of the Damned, and we slowed down the plans of the Dark Brethren. That adventure was also the finale of an adventure arc, and if you listen very closely, you can hear the call of a new adventure.
Hey, come over here. I have a favor to ask.
So welcome to my review of the Sirens prize, where I will also show you all the tablets, explain a bit of the lore, and give you my opinion. So if you like this sort of stuff, you should really subscribe. So let's get into it. After getting directions from Lorena, we find ourselves sailing towards Plunder Valley. On the east coast we meet up with Belle, who explains she couldn't help us with the last adventure since she discovered a potential danger to the Sea of Thieves. Understandable, but also a little scummy since she dragged Merrick into being the figurehead of saving Golden Sands. If you look very closely, you might also notice that she is not alone. In her quest, she is also aided by some ancients. And these are ghosts, so not memories or phantoms, but real people in ghost form, just like the Pirate Lord. In typical Sea of Thieves fashion, Belle doesn't say what the danger is, but you already know if you watch the trailer. But she does tell us to collect the voice, the dreams, and the eyes of the ancients to help her. These artifacts were stolen by the Sirens and put away in 3 different shrines. And guess what? We need to complete these shrines again and bring back these items. Also, if you lift your eye patch, you might have noticed some Reaper parrots observing the scene. I'm sure they are just there for no reason in particular. So let's go to the first shrine I visited, the Shrine of Ancient Tears. I won't explain how to complete these shrines, it's a review, but I will show you all the tablets since I love talking about lore. The first one can be found near the top and explains how the ancients first met the merfolk. They constructed meeting places and an ancient prince was once rescued by the mer. This tablet also mentions Belle, revealing a strong connection between her and the ancients. The second tablet is found on a stone near the pool. This one doesn't really give us new information, but speculates about the origin of the merfolk and talks about the ancient warrior consorting with the Sea Queen and bringing destruction because of it, meaning the Whispering Plague that transformed the merfolk into sirens. The third tablet can be found to the left of a turtle switch. This one talks about the Whispering Plague taking hold, the sirens singing a song of hatred, and the starting of a war between them and the ancients. The fourth tablet is in a corner of the parrot section of the maze, and this one is interesting. It tells that the warrior was not permitted to rest and his soul would forever be bound to his bones should he be needed again. This is a little weird since we learned in the Sunken Pearl Tall Tale that his soul was trapped into the chest of everlasting sorrows. But it also mentioned this information was secret and not all ancients knew of this. Maybe the ritual didn't work as intended, or there was some soul swapping going around, or we are dealing with multiple warriors, which is what I believe. Either way, I'm sure we will come back to this in a podcast episode. So watch it. The final tablet in this shrine can be found in the final vault. It talks about searching for the warrior's remains, but not being able to find them. Then Belle appeared in a later era and offered her guidance in finding them. Which, brings us to this adventure. Once you have read all the tablets and found the eyes of the ancients, don't forget to give this to the ancient in the shrine. And while you do that, make sure to talk to them since they also reveal some additional information. For example, we learn from one of them that the Sea Queen is still alive. The next shrine we visit is a Shrine of Tribute, an interesting place which we learn the lore and history of by reading the tablets and talking to the ancient. The first tablet of this shrine can be found on your way down. It describes the ancient priests recording the dreams of their kings and queens to be examined for portents and potential prophecies. When you go right from the big mural, you will discover the second tablet after the first corner to the right. It talks about the dead communicating from another world by means of dreams. It was then discovered that a connection could be made between the world of the living and the world of the dead, And obviously we now know that world as the Sea of the Damned. After the water is raised, you can find the third tablet high above the entrance of the main chamber. This one talks about the ancients using their memories to shape new places in the Sea of the Damned. They also use this world to hide weapons of great devastation. Something that is a big part of the plot of the Heart of Fire novel, which you should read. It also mentioned an ancient trying to merge the two worlds together, and I'm pretty sure they are talking about the ancient priest we meet during the Legend of the Veil voyage who attempted just that. I'm also fairly sure this ancient priest is also the same one we see throughout the adventure. Unlike the other ancients fighting and standing next to Bel, he is the only one wearing the Veil of the Ancients. Or probably a memory of the Veil or something like that. The fourth tablet can be found in the main chamber to the left. It tells about the ancients creating some sort of paradise in the Sea of the Damned. Knowing this location could cause conflict among their people, it was decided that all of them would be allowed to go there. And the final tablet can be found after swimming to the right underneath the big statue. This one talks about the Veil of the Ancients being cut from a stone and all the ancients, with some exceptions, traveling to their new place. It also mentioned the scattering of the Veil stones and the fear of their paradise not being eternal after all. When you have read all the tablets and secured the voice of the ancients, it is time to go to the final shrine, which in this video is the Shrine of Ocean's Fortune. The first tablet of this shrine can be found to the right as soon as you resurface. It talks about the origin of the warrior title and about a certain warrior that fled to the Sea Queen's arms. It also mentions the writer carving these stories in the tablets to indulge Bel's desire for knowledge about the ancients. Which again makes us wonder if Bel is really an ancient herself or not. While you make your way upwards, you will find the second tablet after some early scaffolding and then just after a mermaid statue. This one describes some of the earlier legends surrounding the first warrior. It also talks about a boar having horns, which I feel tusks should have been more accurate, but I'm totally not bothered by this. The third tablet is easily found above the ancient standing there, but you probably need to sword lunge to get it. This describes yet another legend of the great warrior and his encounter with Many Arms, a daughter from the legendary kraken Old Mother. Also, Many Arms is probably the lamest name for a kraken, but whatever. And speaking about krakens, in the cinematic trailer we can translate the runes of the heart puzzle to kraken, ship, and resurrection. Is this foreshadowing the return of Old Mother, or does it mean nothing at all? I'll leave the speculation to you. The fourth tablet is in the room with the Silverblade figurehead and can be found under the kraken's spine. Just like before, this tells of another legend of the great warrior. This one is about him fighting his reflection for 10 days and nights until he won. You just feel the symbolism dripping from this tablet, but what it really means, I don't know. The final tablet can be found to the right of the shrine's exit. This final legend tells us of the great warrior climbing on golden steps to ascend to the heavens, where he still remains. But we know from an earlier tablet this was actually a lie, since his soul would be forever trapped in his bones. Before you go, make sure you turn in the dreams of the ancients and you should be good. When arriving back on Plunder Valley, we can talk to Bel to start the ritual in combining the pieces we collected. These are revealed to be pieces of a skull, which we can presume is the skull of the warrior. Bel tells us the danger she talked about is the rebirth of Flameheart, and hopefully the soul of the warrior will put a stop to his resurrection. During the ritual, a stormy cloud appears and we are attacked by Reaper phantoms that presumably want to put a stop to the ritual. We then race to the top, defeating phantoms along the way and face off with a Soulflame captain at the end. Sadly, we still know very little about these Soulflame captains, only that they serve Flameheart. When we defeat him, the ritual is complete and the soul of the warrior makes its way to the Sea of the Damned. The ancient priest also thanks us and promises they will return. This also ends the adventure, and you will also be rewarded with some sails depicting both the Sea Queen and the warrior. And I like to have sails like these, but I wish the design was just a little bit better. So in conclusion, this adventure feels like what we have come to expect for a start of a new arc. Nothing too crazy in terms of new gameplay, but more a smart way to get us to interact with old content again. And I'm sure not everyone likes this, and it did bother me with the last adventure, but this time I don't really mind. We don't often have a reason to visit these shrines, and we can also collect some loot along the way, and that's always welcome. And unlike the previous adventure, this one is filled with lore, and I like that. We got 15 tablets to read, and talking with the ancients gave us even more information and lore. Again, I know not everybody likes the lore, but I do, and it does enhance the game. And remember, this adventure is called the Sirens Prize. And the prize is, how I see it, the warrior's soul. And we just dropped the sirens from it. And our actions will have consequences. What these might be, I don't know, but I am excited for future adventures. But what do you think? Did you like the lore? Did you like the reuse of the shrines? Let me know in the comments. I do my best to read all of them. For now, thanks for watching, really appreciate it. Leaving a thumbs up is a very nice thing to do, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.